Hello and welcome. 3-in-1 is the name of the game today. The importance of inland dry ports cannot be overemphasized. Thus, any delays in a project is seen as money going down the drain. The Isialangwa dry port has been moribund for over 30 years with no evident progressive outlook in the horizon. Our other story today will be on the annual general meeting of the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC Nigeria, a representative organization of the parent organization which was founded in 1919 and is based in Paris, France. The International Chamber of Commerce is focused on being the middleman between business ventures and governments in the over 120 countries where it has its presence. Membership of the International Chamber of Commerce affords members access to significantly important figures, both locally and internationally, due to the organization's extensive networks within countries and with international bodies such as United Nations, G20, and the World Trade Organization, to mention just a few. In addition, we will look at the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy, where we examine urgent reforms announced by the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adeboyega Oyetola, CON, following the submission of a technical report aimed at addressing incessant boat mishaps. As always, our tidbit segment will feature in its usual spot, anchored by Maria Uwekule. Let's take a little breather. We shall be right back.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
Welcome back. You're watching The Shipper, your indispensable maritime information television program, proudly brought to you by Nigerian Shippers Council, the nation's port economic regulator. I am Victoria Yavala. Kicking off our 3-story package will be Nigerian Shippers Council's Executive Secretary and CEO's visit to Abia State to strategize with the state government on how to get the gazetted inland dry port up and running. How it went? For that, we join Lucy Yambi as she presents the report compiled by our correspondents.
With inland dry ports springing up in places like Kano, Kaduna, Ibadan, and Funtua, logically and logistically, the Abia Inland Dry Port should be in this distinguished group. Aba has always been an industrial hub with manufacturing in various sectors ongoing. Its proximity to ports at Port Harcourt and Calabar makes it an ideal gateway into the hinterlands and a gathering point for goods on their way out for export. With all these ideal conditions and the fact that the land has been made available, it became imperative for Council's Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Pius Akuta MON, to do an in-person inspection as well as deliberate with the state's executive governor, Alex Oti, OFR, to agree on the way forward. Dr. Akuta thanked the governor for his support, while also re-emphasizing the importance of an inland dry port for the purpose of decentralizing maritime activities at the ports, thus bringing logistical and further infrastructural development to the state and indeed the region.
With renewed commitment from the concessionaire and the enabling leadership of your administration, Your Excellency, we believe the IDP can deliver far-reaching benefits, including transformation of Abia State into a major logistic and trade hub for the southeast and neighboring states, to also provide direct global market access to Abia's world-renowned industrial clusters and SMEs, to create thousands of direct and indirect jobs, especially in logistics, warehousing, transportation, and services, and also to boost Abia State's internally generated revenue through increased trade volumes and value-added economic activities. The Isalangwa IDP is strategically positioned to serve as a logistic hub under AFTA, facilitating regional trade, cross-border logistics, and transit cargo to landlocked countries such as Chad and Niger. This IDP, when operational, will enable export diversification, especially for non-oil goods such as agro-commodities, textiles, leather, and fabricated products from Abia and other markets in the southeastern Nigeria. The Isalangwa IDP will further contribute to increased non-oil revenue, foreign exchange earnings, and the formalization of cross-border trade, which will directly benefit Abia State's economy. Moreover, the synergy between the IDP and AFTA will attract private sector investment in storage, freight forwarding, bonded warehousing, and agro-processing, all of which will translate into job creation and inclusive growth in the economy of the state. This opportunity must be seized now. With infrastructure support and institutional backing, Abia State can position itself as a continental trade gateway.
In his response, Executive Governor of Abia State, His Excellency Alex Oti, OFR, decried the project's 19 years delay since its conceptualization in 2006, pointing at the root cause of the delay, which he identified as flawed implementation, leading to great economic losses.
I need us to, maybe not here, maybe at another forum, and I'm happy to come to Abuja and sit with the Honorable Minister, sit with anyone, so that we can solve that problem, and or at least make a commitment to solving the problem. That will help in even mobilizing investors, because it's a good concept, don't get me wrong, it's just in putting it into practice. But I'm happy to be part of the solution. I want the port to start working yesterday, but then you want to be sure that when you have invested money, done all the things that you need to do, that it will be patronized. We've seen that even with the Port Harcourt port, with Calabar, a lot of our people still face Lagos. That's the reason. So if you don't understand why people do what they do, you can't even solve the problem. That's true. I can't sit here and tell you that I have the solution. No, I don't. I'm still learning, and I'm happy to learn so that we can solve the problem once and for all.
In another development, the International Chamber of Commerce Nigeria, an organization with repute and clout, held its 26th annual general meeting, AGM, and post-AGM talk in Lagos. Speaking at the event, Dr. Pius Akuta, MON, the Executive Secretary and Chief Executive Officer of Nigerian Shippers Council, who was represented by the Deputy Director, Trade Services Division of the Council, Adora Nwonu, opined that the nation's maritime sector is pivotal to the nation's development. Speaking on the theme, Shipping and Maritime, the backbone of international trade, Dr. Akuta outlined the relationship between the nation's developmental strides in connection with the maritime sector. He further expressed the need for modernization in the industry for the achievement of accelerated national growth.
International trade, cargo moved by sea, more than 80%, almost 90%, some say 90% of the things we use, the raw materials, finished products, they go by sea. So that speaks to the importance of this sector. I have statistics to share with you. According to UNCTAD, that's the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development, UNCTAD, in 2023 alone, over 11.1 billion metric tons of goods were moved globally through maritime transport. Now, specific here is maritime transport, powered by more than 103,000 commercial vessels. From energy to electronics, raw materials to finished goods, the sea remains the world's most cost-effective, scalable, and reliable means of transport.
Chief Raymond Inyembe, Chairman, International Chamber of Commerce, Nigeria, after declaring the meeting open, said Nigerian Shippers Council has been a supportive partner over the years. He also reaffirmed ICC's commitment towards global trade.
As the foremost international chamber of commerce, the ICC is committed to advancing the cause of global trade and commerce by working assiduously towards achieving the ICC vision of making business work for everyone, every day, everywhere.
Mrs. Omolara Akonji, Chairman, International Chamber of Commerce, Nigeria, Banking Commission, praised the Council's presentation, citing its valuable insights into Nigeria's shipping industry as crucial for strengthening financial and trade systems.
It went deep into the issue that we have in terms of shipping activity in Nigeria. One of the issues is the 40% charges on the FOB, which is like another taxation, and it will really affect traders, those who are exporting, because FOB is free on board, and that would be double taxation, which we feel that Shippers Council should look into.
The Vice Chairman, Banking Commission of ICC Nigeria, Mr. Olu Vincent, described the AGM as an essential opportunity for performance review and strategic planning, especially in light of the African Continental Free Trade Area after, which promises increased trade volumes and wider integration.
In the last 2 years, the government of the Federation has been looking for ways to generate foreign exchange vis-a-vis more export to bring in foreign exchange to the country to stabilize the value of the Naira, which they've been trying to manage since 2023. Now, you're talking about international trade, and with after coming on board, international trade basically for any nation is more of export, less of import. So when the nation talks about international trade, the nation is inevitably talking about more of export to generate foreign exchange, to stabilize the economy and to help the value of the local domestic currency.
For newly inducted members like Mrs. Taiwo Adewumi, a banker, being part of ICC offers a front row seat to global trade development and access to a vast international business network.
There's a collaboration already, so we're talking about active collaboration now. So when we are saying ICC is here to promote trade, I mean ICC can't do it alone, Shippers Council can't do it alone, so we need to work together to move trade forward. So it's not just collaboration on paper, it's not just collaboration coming to speak at events like this. I mean, we mean active collaboration that would actually affect the way we do trade, make trade more efficient, basically.
Other participants had this to say.
This is the type of gathering we need to have, because here in this environment today we have stakeholders who are very critical to advancing the economy of Nigeria. They are members of ICC Nigeria and they believe in international trade. Trade is the lifeblood of every economy. Without trade, we limit a number of things. We limit employment, we limit opportunities that could have been useful for our nation. So this gathering has been able to, like someone just told me, that this is an eye-opener for him because he's coming newly into the maritime industry. So we are happy to have been able to midwife opportunities that is in the maritime industry for this person.
We are happy to become members of ICC Nigeria because we believe that ICC will give us a good coverage, a platform to be able to meet our clients' needs, being able to bring key stakeholders together, like people in the banking sector. For instance, today we were happy to have somebody from the Nigerian Shippers Council talk to us elaborately about the activities in the maritime. It's a great privilege to be a member of this organization.
From tweaking the Isialangwa Inland Dry Port project in order to nudge it towards completion and operation, to highlighting the Council's relevance at the International Chamber of Commerce Nigeria Annual General Meeting, Nigerian Shippers Council is working hard to fulfilling its mandate of making the nation a recognized and integral entity on the international maritime scene.
The The building blocks of greatness, which is our underlying ambition, is built a step, no matter how diverse at a time. And I'm sure with these stories, you can connect the dots of Nigerian Shippers Council's path to the top. We once again assure you of being there to report every single step. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adegboyega Oyetola CON, has vowed to implement sweeping reforms aimed at eliminating the recurring tragedies of boat mishaps in Nigeria. Speaking in Abuja during the official submission of a report by the Ministerial Committee on Inland Waterways Transportation, the minister emphasized that every life lost in a boat mishap is one too many. The committee, set up earlier this year, was tasked with reviewing existing inland waterway regulations and safety protocols. Their report proposes a multi-tiered strategy, including stricter enforcement of passenger limits, mandatory use of life jackets, improved vessel inspection, and expanded training for boat operators. The minister reaffirmed his commitment to transforming inland water transportation into a reliable and safe alternative, especially in communities cut off from conventional road access. He also stated that the enforcement agencies would be empowered to clamp down on unlicensed and non-compliant operators. Oyetola emphasized that under his watch, the era of unregulated and unsafe marine transport will be brought to an end through targeted reforms, public awareness, and collaboration with state governments and private operators. Now, let's join Maria Uwekule on our Tidbit segment.
Hello and welcome to the Tidbit segment on The Shipper. I'm Maria Uwekule, bringing you the latest highlights, trends and developments from the maritime industry. Let's proceed. In a bid to enhance maritime operations and foster regional cooperation, Nigerian Shippers Council has reaffirmed its commitment to working closely with Tanzania's government. This pledge came during a courtesy visit by a 19-member delegation from United Republic of Tanzania to the NSC headquarters in Lagos. Dr. Akuta Pius MON, the ESCU of the Nigerian Shippers Council, expressed enthusiasm about the prospects of bilateral cooperation aimed at boosting shipping activities in East Africa. According to him, the collaboration will focus on technical support, interport partnerships, capacity building, and infrastructure sharing, all intended to spur growth in Tanzania's maritime sector.
The Nigerian Shippers Council currently is at the forefront of the call for the Nigerian government to also revamp its own shipping line, particularly to deal with issues of crude evacuation and all of that. Many countries of the world today are taking advantage of the crude business to own vessels that will carry their own indigenous crude into the international markets. So Nigeria is not left out of that drive. We are pushing forward for that. We chaired a committee that has issued a report in that respect, which I understand you were with the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy. You may have been told about that initiative which is ongoing. So what you're doing is very critical. For you, already you have this vessel, starting actually in 1999 into the early 2000s with a fleet of 15 vessels, I guess. You have grown that vessel fleet to 18 now, which means that you are already doing well. So you have to do more. But to do more is what you are about to do, to engage the private sector to drive that line of business. Again, at the Shippers Council, we know that one of the areas that the African Free Continental Trade Area Agreement will fail will be in the area of maritime logistics. So it's important for African countries taking advantage of the open market of the AFTA, which AFTA provides, should begin to partner with each other to see how we can create maritime hubs within Africa.
Tanzanian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Celestine Gevas Kakele, emphasized their intent to learn from Nigeria's Port Economic Regulatory Framework, viewing the NSC as a strategic partner in developing indigenous shipping capabilities.
The government of Tanzania, through Tashiko, has come up with an ambition of expanding the operation, meaning not only concentrating the activities along the inland waters, but also to establish operations along the Indian Ocean. How do we do it? Is through inviting the private sector. And that's the point that has brought us here. How do we invite the private sector? Then this team that has introduced themselves here, they are actually doing a benchmarking to get to learn from our brothers and sisters in Nigeria and get the general understanding of the industry so that it can be able to advise the government. And at the end of the day, the government of Tanzania can make an informed decision on the way forward by inviting the private sector.
In his contribution, Deputy Attorney General of Tanzania, Samuel Mako Manene, said Nigeria is one of the prominent countries in West Africa that is doing incredibly well in terms of trade. According to him, Tanzania is trying to see how they can benefit from geographical location of its country as one of the countries in Africa.
Nigeria is one of the prominent countries within the West Africa that they are doing well, and much as Nigeria is one of the most friend of ours, we thought it was very important that we can visit them to borrow a leaf from the experience. We know that the council is more specific on the port economic regulator, but we can still learn from your experience on how to structure the business model, how to manage, to operate the shipping companies.
We encourage you to follow our social media pages at NG Shippers on Facebook, Instagram, X and YouTube for more of our latest updates, events and information. Let's take a look at our complaints register for the week. The Nigerian Shippers Council has received 4 complaints. 3 have been resolved while 1 is still ongoing. The complaints include issues with conspiracy, forgery and fraud, release of container, negligence of duty and vehicle damage, and non-refund of UNAH workshop container. We encourage stakeholders to visit our website at www.shipperscouncil.gov.ng for more information or to lodge their concerns. Now, let's switch our focus to the international maritime news. Switzerland-based container shipping and logistic giant MSC has signed contracts for the construction of up to 12 liquefied natural gas, dual fuel and LNG capable container ships. According to data provided by Greek shipbroker Intermodal, MSC, the world's largest liner company, has placed an order for 4 22,000 TEU box ships at Shanghai in China, and the units are slated for delivery in 2028. MSC has exercised options to build 2 22,000 TEU container vessels at Hengli Heavy Industries in China for 200 million each. The LNG dual fuel ships are expected to be delivered between 2028 and 2029. The Swiss company has also booked 3 + 3 LNG capable 21,000 TEU box ships at China Merchants Heavy Industry, Haimen in China. That concludes this week's edition of Tidbits on the Shipper. Thank you for staying with us. We will return next week with fresh perspectives, emerging trends, and significant updates from the maritime sector. Until then, remain informed and stay safe.
For more than 5 decades, we have empowered and protected the interests of shippers in the nation's maritime industry. Our focus is to facilitate trade, regulate tariffs and rates, as well as handle shippers' complaints on cargo losses, damage and non-delivery. We offer dispute resolution mechanism for shipping and trade disputes between shippers and service providers. We are Nigerian Shippers Council, Nigeria's port economic regulator, your gateway to a thriving maritime sector. Nigerian Shippers Council will meet you at the port of your need.
How time flies. Yes, we have arrived at that familiar anchor point again. Fret not, we are just gearing up for our next journey. Meanwhile, do feel free to interact with us through our various social media pages at NG Shippers till we sail again next time. Here's wishing you a swimmingly great week ahead.